for a minute, but we are all here this evening. We have had a player need to step away for a little bit, so it's just going to be the 5 of us for a while. We'll let you know if they come back. But we've got Quentin, we've got Druge, Relic, Marthala, and Brandel. We're very excited to get playing again. So one of the things I like to do... Am I muted? No. One of the things I like to do when we don't play for a bit, which happens sometimes in this group. I'm disabled and we all have lives, and so sometimes we don't play for a little while. What I like to do is a recap with the players, so often the players will remember more things than I do. And then what I'd like to do is check in with each character. I'll sort of set the scene, and then we'll see what's top of mind for each character. Does that sound all right for everybody?
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can make that work.
Okay, great. So I lost my train of thought. Yeah, all right. So what are you all up to? Where did we leave things? What have you been up to lately?
Well, Relic pantsed Quentin after he was awkwardly asking for a date that he was encouraged to do.
Oh, I forgot
And
about that.
Quentin face stepped at full speed along the ground out of the Blacksmith before pulling up his pants.
For some reason,
That's right.
For some reason, Brandel turned Relic invisible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
did.
thought that was a good idea for some reason.
Does anybody remember why
I mean,
he
if we're
turned him
gonna turn
invisible?
someone invisible,
Because he doesn't
Well-
return to the same town.
Yeah, I was hiding out, and
Right.
you know, I had my disguise kit on. It was a very convincing disguise of a little
oh
boy.
yeah, that's why his
That's
disguise was not working at all.
Or was it?
That's right. Relic doesn't return to the same town. Y'all are headed back to, what did I call this place? Walled?
Walled.
Walled because...
I know we were in the town for some other reason, but all I can think of is the date.
You ran
We were
into...
gonna go visit the guy who sent us on the mission for all the parts so that we
Right.
could get paid. But
That's the
ultimately,
official reason.
Marthala came back to beat up priests.
Right. Yes.
Right. We're smiting some religious orders. It's gonna be great,
Yeah.
guys.
Right. But I believe that's just between Marthala and Druge. You left. You wanted to keep that from Relic. It was you tried to make it all about the mission, the parts that you were supposed to pick up, right?
For now.
Right.
Okay. Cool. And just a reminder, the priest that we are referring to is the Order of the Holy Riders. Did I remember that correctly?
Yup.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And they are A, dicks, and B, terrify the bejesus out of Relic. Well, maybe terrify is not the right word. How would you describe that, Relic?
Oh, I don't like him one bit, right?
Right.
And yeah, I'm pretty certain if they cut me, they'd torture me to death. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not scared of nothing, but at the same time, I don't want to test it.
That is completely fair. I think,
Because I'm not scared.
No, not at all.
and the last piece you picked up in a town I technically... Oh, hi, Tyler. Yay, Tyler. I think I called it Fandon, but it was based on Phandalin. And there was a collapsed keep, and y'all were underneath that for a while, which was hecka fun, right?
No, it was not. It was not at
Yeah.
all.
Definitely wasn't scared, and I'm still not.
Mhm.
Not scared.
Good,
Druge
you let
did
us
not
know.
go through trauma at all for days on end. It's fine.
Okay.
Right.
And then when you got back to Wald,
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
One very important thing
mhm.
is the people of that town begged me to be their new mayor and lead
Right.
them into the next millennia with
Not quite
With-
how I remember that.
success and you know, like being successful and whatnot. But I had to turn them down because you know, the adventurer's life with the open road and making sure my mates don't die and whatnot.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
very
really what's
important.
important to me. So
Yeah.
I had to let him down easy.
Is that what everybody else remembers too? Is that how that went, you think?
Not-
He ran
not-
away like a baby and he abandoned me.
Oh,
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember Harlech had an encounter with these priests in one of the temples, came back to the inn y'all were staying at, and that's where Relic heard about it. And then Relic tried to leave right away, right?
Right, yeah, and they
Mhm.
wouldn't let me go, and they were like, "No, you're drunk. Stay here, crazy man." And I was like, "Nah, I gotta go."
Didn't you end up turning into stone for a hot minute?
I don't remember if that
Yes.
was true or not.
Yeah.
That happened, and then we found him
Accidentally
passed out in a
petrified.
ditch.
Right, because you were super drunk.
It was celebrating.
A lot of good stuff here. Yeah, okay. So, when you made it back to Wald, I don't remember how this went. Was Quentin the one that was like, I need to stop by the smithy, or what? Did that start
Somehow
on the
way
road?
back-
Yeah.
Yeah, it started on the road, and Marthala was like, "You've got a girlfriend," and
Didn't Brandel
like,
give you
"What?"
like some flowers or something?
he did. Yeah.
It was yeah. I had some petals, you know.
So everybody
Like
was like,
you.
"Bro, you got this," and he was like, "Well, I guess," and then proceeded to be pantsed.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you went in to get something worked on into the smithy to get something worked on, and then
My game. I went to work on my game.
do you think you
Because
worked
it
on that?
I do not think that.
Okay.
What is Quentin's charisma?
You mean game as in
11.
hunting, right? Like
Yeah.
Plus 0.
Cool. That tracks.
All right, and then did we leave it there, or did y'all make it back to the inn in the last
We were
session?
headed back to the inn.
Oh, I do have a note that says they make it back to the Candlestick Inn.
Yeah, because on the way between the blacksmith and actually entering the town, Relic decided to play as a child and try and pocket pick a guard or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Pickpocket a guard.
And then
He was
so
being a dick.
yeah,
I have a
that
note
did
here
happen.
that says Drews is out of appendages to keep an eye on people because he's trying to keep an eye on Marthala, who wants to cut Churchman in twain, and Quentin. It says when is brightened. I sometimes these notes make absolutely no sense.
You had to be there.
Clearly.
Sure.
Fortunately, we recorded that one, I'm pretty sure. All right, well, let's talk about the RP moment. That might give us some thoughts here. We've got so Quentin Marthala took the RP point for, oh, wasn't that a cute boy? Gosh, I wish he'd asked me. Oh, that's right. You said that to the smithy, the smith lady, right before walking out of the
Look, I
blacksmith's.
think it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
I
was
think that
definitely
I had an
subtle.
effect.
Marthala was going full matchmaker. It was great.
Well, that was
It worked.
that was one of the RP moments, was Marthala jumping in and being Quentin's wing pal, which is how that was dictated to me. And then we also had
Which is appropriate.
Quentin is terrible at making a move. I think I was trying to spell that in like just
Terrible.
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 We also had Brandel immediately making Relic invisible, because I'm pretty sure as soon as Relic was like, I will do mischief, it just indicated I will do mischief. I'm pretty sure Brandel was
do
like,
mischief.
and you're invisible. And then
Mischief managed.
we also had a moment for Relic for making Quentin's life miserable while invisible without any hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
Yeah, I feel like didn't I tie his pants to something?
He tied it to a
You tied his
I think he- yeah, I
shoelaces,
think he
maybe?
did.
Yeah, the shoelaces.
I think it was both. I think he tied his
Yeah,
shoelaces
it was
first
2
and then the
stages.
pants.
Yep.
There was a 2-stage pantsing. Quentin got rocketed off out of his pants.
Yes.
Well, the rocketing he did to himself to get out of there, but
Right.
No, Relic
Good.
tied string in the walkway for Quentin to trip on,
Uh-huh.
which he does.
That was the other part. He
Oh.
didn't roll well enough to see any of the things I did.
no, I was
Relic?
distracted.
I gave you so many. Relic attached a chain to a hook on Quentin and then to a table.
That's right.
It gets caught
was,
in the
yeah.
on the table and his pants came down.
Mm.
And then Relic cast a minor illusion and made a fart noise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happened.
You couldn't just leave it
And-
alone.
At the fart noise, Quentin blinked out of the shop.
Yep.
And I picture him like typical, like because momentum carries. So technically, if he blinked, I feel like he wouldn't have momentum. But I just picture him like face skidding across the grass outside the shop.
I really like the idea
With
of
his pants
Quentin
around his ankles.
of Quentin like it being similar to Brandle's like I will be invisible now because of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Quentin
Yeah,
had
that's
like
very-
a similar moment. Like maybe Quentin had a moment where he was like, "Oh, this is why Brandle turns invisible."
Yeah, that's a really good call.
All right,
It all makes sense now.
the stuff I wrote down for learned was Quentin cannot deny the fact that he has a girlfriend now.
Yep.
Relic
It's back. It's canon.
Relic is a terrible child, and I wrote just literally.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause he
yeah.
was disguised as a child.
We learned that Relic should never be turned invisible.
Remember when he tried to get us arrested by CPS?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So
This is why Druge is out of appendages.
Relic tried to pick a guard's pocket. He got caught. Harlech tried to explain. Drews picks Relic up from under the arms. Relic complains and whines about their treatment and claims they're trying to sell him.
Yeah.
Which is complete bullshit.
Yeah, you know, I
Then-
thought about turning him invisible with the guards, but that would have been even more
We
weird.
should have tried to sell him in that moment. Been like, hey, guards,
We should
you
have.
hungry?
Then Marthala glares at Relic, and we had her glare with her eyes glowing. Like, her wings didn't come out, but, like, all of the energy was, like, focused through her eyes, and that made Relic pout, but he stayed quiet.
Right, he did.
Yeah, so other things I wrote down is Brandel learned there's a lot to be done with invisibility. And Marthala gets a little glowy when she's upset. So that's also canon. I really enjoy that. All right. So let's say we've... is there anything else you'd like to add that you're up to currently? Any other shenanigans or plot points you'd like to share with the stream?
Just a quick throwback. There was a point where Relic tried to, I wouldn't say weasel some more money out of the share, but tried to weasel some
did.
more money out of the share. And Quentin tripped him up on it, and instead they created a college fund for Gorko. So that's floating out there somewhere.
That's
in this
true.
town.
That's
That
true.
was,
I do recall
what,
that.
25
Guys, gonna get a
episodes
grade.
ago?
Yeah, we're on
Something like
session
that, yeah.
42. Yeah, so that was a while back. That's a good throwback. And I think I'll say this as well. So originally, way back, y'all started on this particular set of adventures because you were tracking down items, pieces of machinery, from a man who hired you called Felix, and he was the middleman between him and his client. You went down into Wald, like a rift that appeared under Wald. You picked up a piece there, and then I think this piece you just picked up was the second piece you'd picked up. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
I also want to mention that you've been running into this this like infernal stamp, like a symbol that keeps being like etched or burned into things of a like a necromancer type person whose name I've forgotten.
Druge is super into it and always down with weird necromancy magic. It's his favorite thing.
Wow. So and then I think I mean you've gone on a bunch of like side adventures and stuff, but I think those are the big points to make here. Anything else anyone wants to add?
I think that's about right. About good.
All right, so let's say you make it back to the inn. Marie was the she's not the innkeeper, but you've never really met the innkeeper. She seems to be keeping the place running. I think she'll catch sight of you. Thank you, Bard and Barbarian, for subscribing. I think she will catch sight of you as you're coming in and say, "Oh, you're back. That's wonderful. Did anybody leave anything behind? Besides Gorko? When you were last here, like, did anybody store anything here?
Nothing but the
Don't
money,
believe so. Yeah.
which is part of the reason why they were able to talk Relic into coming back.
Right. Okay. So she catches sight of you, and she appears to be wiping down the counter. Let's say y'all make it there like right before dinner time, like right before the evening rush would come in. She says, just one moment. You go through a little bit of like, it's so good to see you. Felix will be stopping by tonight. Your rooms are all ready. You can have the same ones. All of that. So y'all go up to your rooms to freshen up and check in. And that's where I'm going to check in with each of the characters. So I'll start with Harlick. Harlick is going to get up to his room, and you'll remember that in the last session he was wanting to go straight to the bookseller and had decided to wait. Well, he's gonna decide to go ahead and go straight to the bookseller. And so if anybody asks Marie about it, she'll say, "Oh yeah, he mentioned he was going to that bookseller." So that's what we'll be doing with Harlick for now. Let's go ahead and start with anybody raring to go first, or do you want me to pick at random? I'll set the scene and then I'll ask what your character's top of mind thoughts are. Pick at random it is.
Pick it random.
Let's start with Druge. So Druge, I forget, are you sharing a room with Quentin, right?
Yeah, as a general rule, they tend to share a room. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say you're settling in. It's the same room you used last time. It had those 2 beds and little trunks that like have the key stuck in it, and you're allowed to store things in there and lock it and then hold the key. You have to make sure the key's back in there when you check out, that kind of thing.
Like the locker at Disney World.
Yeah. Yes?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I was thinking more like this is fairly. Isn't this like a thing that they did back in the day? You know what?
It is now.
It
is.
seems like a good idea if they didn't do it.
Yeah. I feel like it's something I read in a book once. Okay, so do Quentin and Druge have like a routine when they get into the room? Like, is it the kind of thing where one of you puts stuff away and then settles, and then the other one puts stuff away and then settles, or do you like have a conversation? What do you think?
I think the first order of business for Druge is usually just like unloading all the stuff that he's carrying, since, carries all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's kind of a unloading process. I don't think it all goes into the fancy chest, the fancy key necessarily. It's just they get these objects off of
You kind of lay them out on the bed. It's the kind of thing where you're sort of inspecting. Like you take the belt off and you look for any tears. You're unclipping the dagger. You're looking at the sheath and like pulling the dagger out to make sure it's not rusting. That kind of thing.
Yeah, just general disembarkment of gear and inspection for maintenance purposes, that sort of deal.
I feel like we have like an established kind of rhythm that like we each kind of, without really talking about it, like I take care of this and you take care of that and I check this on your back for you, or whatever, like just like we would if we're tearing down camp, but we just still do it in the end.
Yeah, pack in, pack out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there anything in particular that you want to call out that you're taking off, or is that just you could? Okay.
I think it's just the. Actually, let me check my inventory. It's been a second. I don't think there's anything.
So I have a list of questions that I don't remember when I prepared it, but it was like forever ago, and it's a way to like exercise your character sheet and in character and stuff. So
right. I know he's gonna stop carrying around the portable ram while they're in town.
There.
And
Good idea.
And
right,
we're gonna stash the tusk swords
hold on.
while we're in town too.
Okay, that makes sense. I have a question. Where are the tusk swords always on your tusks? Where are they when they aren't on your tusks?
I think they'd be kind of strapped to the side of the backpack, like normally where you put like a walking stick or something.
Or like an umbrella. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're usually just kind of stashed there. I don't think those are, definitely not when you're in town, but they aren't general, like, I wake up in the morning and I put on my tusk swords. It's a
I mean,
we're gonna get into some shit.
I wouldn't say you
Sounds like a
can't do
song
that. I'll wake
The
up
best
in the
part of
morning.
waking up is tusk swords on your face.
Tusk
In your gut.
swords at your throat. I don't know.
Yeah, those.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of the hunting traps need to get carried around. All of that sort of stuff.
Got it. All right.
You know, various and sundry hand axes, daggers, javelins, nets. So the nets were specially commissioned, so we might hang on to one of those.
What was special about those nets again?
Just that they were weighted and throwable, and made by Quentin's girlfriend.
Haven't had a date yet.
I really like
Speaking of
the. Yeah.
I think after all of this unloading has happened, that will be the first point. Did they agree on meeting that night, or was that the night after? I don't remember.
No, yeah, she was gonna come by for like dinner time here.
Is it
Right.
that night
So-
though?
I think so.
Okay. Okay.
So I think as soon as he's unpacking, Druge will kind of turn towards Quentin and, are you gonna need the room for yourself?
And he like drops whatever he was putting away immediately. What? Then Thor picks up with like, oh, what?
I mean, you did have plans.
What are you talking about? He will not make eye contact with you.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
I don't. It's just dinner.
Drew's just gonna walk out of the room and head down towards. We're gonna plot off towards downstairs and find something.
Quentin's become very focused on perfectly lining it up, whatever it is he's doing, and he doesn't know what it is, but it's very important.
And like, you know, like, oh, there's a nick here. I'm gonna take care of it right now, kind of thing. Like.
Yep. Like, oh, did I scratch this table? Oh.
Okay. So, what's Drew's thinking? Like, is he happy to be back in a familiar place? Is there something that's sort of preoccupying him? Is he, you know, waiting for somebody to come down so he could talk to them? Anything like that?
I don't know if happy to be in a familiar place is strictly speaking accurate, since being in town is generally uncomfortable because everything is entirely too small. I think there is something to be said for like not feeling like you're going to be attacked in the middle of a dungeon, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a hey, we're back now, and that's super comfortable. He has been pretty shaken after the experiences in the dungeon and leading up to them, since it was babysit drunk Quentin, then babysit day drinking Marthala, and make sure she doesn't kill herself as she charges face first into whatever.
Yeah.
Then get set on fire.
Oh, right. Yes.
Almost murder Marthala.
Right.
Almost die to some shadows. Get turned into some stone, and probably some other stuff that sucks.
Oh, there was also that portal with that thing that was coming through it.
Right, yeah, there was also that.
There was also the murder ravine that smelled particularly bad to you because you have a special sense of smell.
Right, and then he got a mustache drawn on him while he was turned to stone.
Right.
And Drew's just been a little kind of shaken after those series of unfortunate events.
The mustache really did him in.
Yeah, that was the tipping point right there. That was the straw.
Didn't what's your other Quentin? Didn't Quentin like help try to turn those into
Yeah, that
Like,
got turned
right,
into
the
some
war paint
variety
or
of
something?
yeah, which has since come off. But yeah, Drew's has been a little shaken, not himself, after all of that.
Is he processing those things by being like thinking about it, or is he processing those things by deliberately thinking about anything else?
No, it's very much like thinking about it and working through it on his own time. Like he spent the night out in the field while they
That's true.
before they headed out. He went out with Barthala to potentially verbally abuse some
A
priests
priest,
and
yeah. That helped, yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially about it.
No verbally about it either.
Right.
yeah, it's very much a kind of processing and taking control of the situation sort of deal that he's working through right now. So, if that means Quentin needing a room to himself for the night, that's actually okay because his rooms are too small anyway.
Fair enough. Okay. I like that. Let's anything else you want to add before I move to Quentin?
No, I think that covers it. Carry on.
All right, so Quentin, you're settling into this room. Are you going through the same sort of thing where you're taking everything off, you're checking everything, you're not in a dungeon, this is a good time. Make sure everything's sharp
Yeah.
and whatnot.
I think he's probably taking inventory, laying out his weapons to make sure they're all in good order, kind of cleaning them up. He's starting to wonder how he's gotten so many daggers and realize he's just cleaning the same ones over and over. And then he'll kind of, tuck his shirt or like tug on it, straighten it out, and just look over at Marrow and say, you know this wasn't my idea, right? Like, how? Okay. And then he'll just kind of like pat his hip with his hand to pull Marrow into a heel and then head downstairs.
So when you first entered town, Marrow got as small as he could, and he stayed right next to your heels, and he startles quite easily. Whenever you pass another dog, he does it like you see him like nose in that direction, like he wants, like his instinct is to go say hello or whatever, but then he jerks himself back, and he's positioning himself on the opposite, like using you as a shield. When you make it into the room, he relaxes quite a bit because this is where you first started feeding him bacon and stuff, I think.
Right.
Right.
I think
Pocket bacon.
knowing that, I think what he would do is, at some point he would have tossed Marrow something to chew on up on the bed.
Yeah.
And he goes to get ready to leave the room. He'll kind of like walk over and grab his front legs with his left hand and pull his front legs up and over his shoulder and kind of like put him into that shoulder carry.
I think he likes that. I think that's pretty comfortable for him. I think,
yeah, we've done that a few times.
I think he kind of puts his head over the front of his front paws and like tucks his head up against the side of your head, probably.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to do that like a comfortable carry forever. This pup has big paws, but he's still pretty small. He's still pretty skinny. You've been feeding him really well, so he doesn't look like a skeleton anymore, but he's still on the light side.
Yeah.
But he's...
I might have, like, the bigger he gets, I'll have to, like, kind of stoop forward a little bit to give him more of a show.
Yeah, you'll be able to do it, but it won't be like this is where I can take a nap, And his coat's coming in a lot nicer. You noticed it was like, it felt very scruffy and sort of patchy in spots. It seems to be evening out, and it's turning nice and slick and shiny, so he's definitely doing better, that's for sure. What were your thoughts when Druge asked you if you need the room? Like, I know you were embarrassed, but what was going through your mind? Quentin's mind.
I think it just is kind of long static, or loud static, and is trying not to focus on it too much and just go through his routine. And he's thinking about home. He's thinking about he's not really had relationships, even cordial friendship, just friendships, really, other than Druge until this group. And I think it's probably pulling up, feelings he's been ignoring, things that he's grieving or missing that he's been ignoring, and he's very actively trying to ignore those. So he's not only just overwhelmed because of he has a what he's trying to avoid admitting is a date tonight, but also he's he's trying not to go down that road because it's going to start opening up a lot of things he's been ignoring for a very long time.
Do you think when Relic was goofing around and when Marthala was being your wingman, do you think that that it's more that started reminding you of home than the sort of awkward date thing you're doing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like having like a crew. Like we've been in fights together. We've been in dungeons together. We've been against adverse situations, but I think it was really the first friendly or safe situation where they banded together that felt like a group of friends.
Yeah.
Which it has a pretty bitter sting.
Yeah.
But it's also bittersweet.
So do you think Quentin's gonna say anything or do anything to Relic?
Yeah, he's probably thinking through, like, remembering that scene playing out, and then you'd see his face kind of turn sour and scowl a bit, and you could see the wheels start turning.
Uh-oh. Okay, so you make sure your shirt looks nice and whatnot, and then you're heading down into the common area?
Yeah.
All right. Is your thought on you want a beer, you want food, do you want to hunt down Relic and string him up by his toes? Like, are you going to try and find a small table in the corner that you can lay claim to, or what are we thinking?
I don't think you'd go all the way into the corner, but, not by the front door and not in the center of the room, just somewhere kind of in the general.
Is he gonna tell Murray, like, I'm expecting someone, and...
I don't think so, because I don't think he wants to... It's not so much he doesn't want to acknowledge it, but if he's like, hey, Marie, I've got a friend coming to visit, and then she doesn't show up, that would be hilariously embarrassing.
Oh.
So he's just going to kind of find a spot off to the side where he's visible if you're looking for him, but trying not to, he's not going to pick a central table and like, hey, guys, let's play cards or anything.
So you're not sitting with everybody else. You're specifically sitting at, like, a two-person table.
Yeah, one of the smaller ones off to the side. He'll get some, we would call them appetizers, but just some small nibblings and a beer.
This is not a super fancy establishment, so you're probably gonna get like a basket of bread and some cheese, you know?
Yeah, that's like exactly.
And some beer, and like the place is picking up as you come down, and so Marie's started sort of running around and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You do see Gorko. He'll probably dash over to Druge first, who gets down there and is like, hello, hello. And then he'll dash over to Quentin and be like, hello, hello. And every time he's like wiping down the table, even though the tables are clean, like you could, and he follows Marie around and like picks up glasses. And every now and then you see him pick up a glass and you see somebody like take it back and put it on the table and be like, I'm not done. And he's like, okay. And he's like overly helpful. And he's running around with water and refilling beer. And sometimes he goes to refill it and somebody has to put their hand over it. Like, no, like he doesn't wait for people to ask. He's like very full of energy, so he seems good. Okay, let's check in with Brandel next. So you have a room to yourself, I think. You don't carry a ton, right? Like, are you unpacking or are you settling?
No, I mean just like a couple pouches, I think, and that's it. Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going up to the room to, like, everyone else is going up to the room, so I will go up to my room? Or does he have a specific purpose to go up there? So you want to, like, change into a fresh smock or something?
I mean, I'll go sit down for a minute, I guess.
I really feel like Brandel is going up to the room because everybody else is going up to the room,
like,
and because he doesn't go into the rooms with them. Yeah, he doesn't really know what they do, so he goes in and like sits down and is like,
do.
Huh.
Oh wait, 5 minutes.
Of it, like if everybody was washing dishes, but he didn't have any dishes to wash, so he's just doing it with his hands, like the room packing equivalent of that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Let's wash this single plate 3 times.
Gorko is a goblin, Tyler. That it was a goblin that y'all met on the adventure when you went down into the underneath walled, and he wanted y'all to save his master, and then when he found his master dead, he had like a crisis. And then, yeah, y'all adopted him because that's what all PCs do, is adopt goblins.
Because he was small.
And cute. I think I gave him a cute voice for some random reason. Okay. So, Brandel, how
I
long...
think it's the fact that his, like the guy that he was with died, so, like, he felt that,
Yeah.
you know?
He had
That whole
feelings
thing.
about it, and y'all can't help
Yeah,
having
yeah.
feelings. All right, so how long do you think Brandel waits in the room before going downstairs?
Probably, like, 10 minutes max.
And then you just get up off the bed and go straight downstairs again?
Yeah, I guess.
That sounds fine. What are you thinking about when you're sitting on the bed? Are you thinking about like what you've done? You know, are you thinking like, oh, I hope Quentin doesn't come hit me on the head or anything? Are
I mean, I don't think it would really. I mean, I feel like he would be more, like, if he was like even remotely mad, he would be more mad at Relic, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he even saw me turn him invisible or anything, because I mean, he had a lot on his plate right now.
Oh, that's a very good point. I don't think he did.
Because you know he was doing the thing, so.
Yep, that's true. He was very distracted. Okay.
I think that Relic couldn't do it to himself.
How did Brandel feel about going through the keep? That was a pretty dark time for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was pretty stinky, and
You had a moment there where you unlocked a
Yes.
door and didn't open it.
well, yeah, I mean, everyone was gone. I didn't want to like just go in there.
No. You opened a door. You unlocked a door, and then you were like, meh, and turned around and went through a different door, and everybody followed you. Like, that is literally what
Wait,
happened.
really?
Yes! You
Oh,
were all going
well,
through, like, a
then,
little narrow hallway. It was the worst.
Well,
So-
you know.
And, like, there was a portal with a thing coming out. Was he scared at all, do you think?
I mean, yeah, definitely, like, at least weirded out a little bit. Like, that was kind of crazy. But there was, like, a lot of dead people. Like, a lot of dead people.
A lot of dead
right?
people,
Like, that's-
yeah. And lots
Yeah.
of traps and things.
There's a lot going on.
Do you
down
think
there.
he-
Like,
Do you think he's feeling like, okay, I have found a group that I can work with and feel safe with? Or do you think he's like, shit is getting stranger by the day. I don't know about this. What do you think he's thinking?
no, I feel like he feels okay about the group. Like, he
Mhm.
definitely feels a little bit, like, more relaxed now that we're not in the crazy mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, there's no dead bodies in the tavern.
Yep.
Great.
Well,
Yet.
that you know of.
That I know of, yeah.
Maybe that
It's
thought
like the
occurs to him, and
floorboards.
that's when he's like, okay, now I'm going downstairs.
Okay, downstairs.
Okay, yeah, let's go downstairs. Too
Okay.
much time on my room.
Now, when you get downstairs, are you going to try and sit with Quentin, or are you going to sit by Druge?
I mean, if there's like a free chair next to George, I'll go sit next to George. I don't want to, like, you know, if Quentin has like, you know, a table with 2 seats, like to himself, I don't want to go and sit in that chair, right?
Quentin's got the corner booth with the appetizers.
I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
ask,
yeah.
you know, he's probably like crumbling a piece of cheese or bread or something. You're not going to go over and like give him some words of encouragement or another flower or anything. You're just going to stare at him awkwardly from across the room.
Yeah, and then like go sit somewhere else.
Got it. Is there anything that Brandel is focused on right now? Like, what does he think the next step is?
I mean, well, he doesn't really know about the priest thing going on.
Yep.
So, as far as I'm concerned, we're gonna talk to the guy, and then I guess we'll see where we go next, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're just here for the info, so that we can proceed.
Right. Okay.
Get some money.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And is there anything that he is...
Well, obviously, I know about Raylick. Like, I know he's like, you know,
Yes.
panic and everything.
How does Brandel feel about that? Does he believe Relic? Is he like, oh shit, this is serious? Is he
yeah, I
like,
mean-
well, this is weird? Like, what's he thinking?
I mean, yeah, he seems pretty serious, right? So,
Yeah.
like, I don't think I wouldn't believe him. Yeah, like, seemed pretty.
Does it feel like the kind of thing that you're like, I want to help with this, or does it feel like the kind of thing where it's like it's not really Not really my
yeah,
deal.
I definitely like feel the interest in helping. You know, I that's initially why we thought about making Relic invisible. It turned out to be
You were trying to
completely
help, yeah.
a different thing. But yeah, I was yeah.
I think it's
I
safe.
thought maybe it would be useful.
I think it's safe to say that everything Brandel's encountered in the last month or so has been really, really new for him, right? Like the
Oh yeah, no.
even
totally.
traveling with a group is very new. The different environments you've been in, like underneath a keep, and everything's really creepy and in and you know
Yeah.
the
I
town
mean, we
that
were
town you
we
were
were
in.
under that keep like for a couple of days, right? So
Yeah, probably. I think so. I think it was like I think it was 2 days. Yeah. So you've been in a bunch of really new environments. Were there any that you? I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but have you ever had in real life had a moment where you've like walked into a building? This happens to me with like town halls and stuff. I'll walk into it and or like city halls. It'll just be like, this is a weird building. Like, what is this for? Who built this? Like, it was.
I mean, yeah, definitely with the mansion, I would say like it was
Mhm.
not a nice place at all. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
this seemed
say,
kind of
like,
odd.
You know, like traveling and like just between Camden and where we are now, like that's like pretty nice, pretty chill. But being
Mhm.
in the mansion and that was not
Was
nice.
not chill. Not nice. Not chill.
Yeah, not chill.
Got it. All right. Anything else you want to add, or can I move on to Marthala and Relic?
No, yeah, I think that's it. We're good.
Okay. Let's start with Marthala. Are you and Relic sharing a room again, or did you ask for different rooms this time?
That's a good question. So Marthala wouldn't have specifically asked for a separate room, but she's not eager to be in a space with just Relic right now.
What?
So like she'll do the awkward thing where she like loiters in the hallway to see what he does.
What if when Marie's like, all your old rooms are set up, she kind of she happens to catch your eye and maybe you look a little uncomfortable and she's like, and there's another room right next to yours that's free if anybody wants to spread out.
That's perfect.
Okay. And so you're in the hallway and are you waiting to see like which room Relic goes in?
No, if she has her own space, she'll just go straight in.
Okay. Is it the kind of thing where like you go straight in and then you close the door in Relic's face if he tries to come in, or?
Yes. But probably not like poignantly so, but more just like when you're trying to keep the dog out of the bathroom when you're using it. You're like, okay, I'll see you in a little. Oh.
You're not needed for this particular activity.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is my me time.
Mama's busy. Yeah, I have long conversations with my pets where I'm like, really? I'm busy. I don't watch you poop. And then Tara goes, yes, you do, because she's a dog. And I have to, pick that up. Yeah. Okay, so you're in this room. You're alone. There's a lot that's been happening.
Yep.
Do you start unpacking and putting everything on the bed? Or are you trying to distract yourself from your own thoughts? Or are you really like, okay, Marthala, you've got to deal with this. What do we think Marthala's doing?
So Marthala right now is, I don't want to say broody because it's not really a thing that she does,
Mm-hmm.
but having to admit that she knows that Relic is not a holy man who helps all of those in need that he comes across. Like, having to admit that out loud was something she didn't really want to stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And that anger has been misplaced, and now she just wants to beat someone up. She wants someone to suffer for her having to live through that.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's going to be the priest, because the priest was the catalyst for the whole thing.
Yeah, I think
so. She's not brooding, but she's like definitely having like red murder fantasies where she's just punching the ever-loving shit out of a priest.
I think this is a really interesting moment for Marthala where I think when we first saw these two characters, she was sort of, I don't think it was blindly following Relic, but there was a certain naivety where, you know, Relic would be like, oh,
willful ignorance.
yeah, yes, I think willful ignorance is a phrase we used a lot, where Relic would be like, thing, and she'd be like, of course, you know. And
Yeah, absolutely.
that breaking is a really interesting moment because a lot of your relationship with him and with the others in relation to him was that willful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Words are hard. It's fine.
words are hard.
Words bad.
So is this the kind of thing where she's trying to, is she running over scenarios in her mind and thinking like, okay, so that wasn't real and that wasn't real and he probably lied to me there too, and start like to the point where she's like, there's no point in thinking about this? Did she do anything like that?
Probably to some degree, but like she knew she was being lied to.
Aha.
Right.
So she's admitting that to herself too.
She knew, but she knows that at the end of the day, it didn't really matter that Relic wasn't being honest because he still cared about her.
Mm-hmm.
And he still looked out for her best interests until he just turned tail and ran and left her there.
So that made her feel like it didn't matter because Relic cares about you, but then he left, so...
Yeah, the lying didn't matter until he abandoned her. And then it's suddenly all that seems to matter.
So she sort of like flipped to now it's the most important thing.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. And it's really interesting to play through that too, because it's just a very complex dynamic that I'm finding really, really fascinating. Okay, so is she gonna go down for dinner, do you think, or is she gonna stay up in her room again?
She's gonna go down for dinner because she's just gonna be in her own head if she sits in there. Like, plus, she wants to make sure that she can give Quentin some last minute tips before his date.
And watch, obviously. Best entertainment you've had in a month.
That's nosy. That we wouldn't do that. But like,
I would.
She'd probably go downstairs, and if he's sitting at a table by himself, she'd like, Quentin, put your hood up. Put your hood up. Can't hear you. You're muted.
He's always
sorry.
muted.
I think that holds true for Quentin. He was just like confusing, like mouthing, just why?
You'll be mysterious that way. No, chicks dig that. Trust me.
Do you like come over and like do the thing where like you fuss with his hair and like help him position
Absolutely,
it just right?
I do.
And he'll just kind of like
100%.
kind of do that like try and duck out of the way, but can't go anywhere because he's already sitting. So he'll just kind of like let you do it, and then
She's probably big enough to hold you still too.
oh, for sure.
This is true.
And then just kind of look up and look around, like,
Do you let her put up your hood?
I'm not gonna stop her.
Cool. She gives you 2 thumbs up and like backs away to go sit with Druge.
You can do it. Yeah, cool.
Does she back up like without breaking eye contact all the way?
Absolutely, she does.
There's the 2-finger point.
Yeah.
She's probably like about to knock over a stool or something, and Druge just like shoulder checks her so she'll move.
Not even. It's just like a trunk just redirecting
Yeah.
her a little
Pulls the
bit.
chair out
It's
of the way.
like the trunk comes over and like nudges her shoulder so she doesn't.
Yeah.
Druge is my guardian angel, guys.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are best friends.
But yeah.
Tank bros, yeah.
Okay.
Bros.
Are you doing any checking in with? I think Druge and Brandel are at the table.
You know, not really. Only because she even if something were wrong right now, she wouldn't want to talk about it because it would mean that she'd have to talk about her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that we want to do at this moment. So she'll probably try and just like change the subject and make light of everything and be like, "Oh, it's to be back."
Where is Felix? He needs to be here so we can do stuff like that.
Do you guys remember if Felix had a little mustache? I can't remember what he looked like, and I want to make sure that I don't mix him when he comes in.
I don't know. He was very close to the ground.
Well, that doesn't exactly.
It's not helpful. Does not answer your question.
I remember he was loud.
I don't
Was he?
know that helps.
Angry little man.
I really don't remember Felix very well.
He was
Was he a dwarf?
bitter shrew. Yeah.
And he was grumpy. He was a grumpy dwarf. He was kind of a stereotype. Okay.
Yeah.
If Marie swings by to like drop off beer or anything, do you try to like talk her ear off or let her go about her bit? Because it's getting a little crowded.
I'd probably try and like ask her how things have been and
How's
do all of
Gorko?
that.
Yeah.
Probably not even noticing that she's super busy. So eventually she's like, "Okay, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Take
like
care of this thing."
I'll be right back. No, I gotta go. Yeah, no, that's cool. I gotta go. Yeah, okay, yeah, I have to go.
But what about? Yeah.
You do that really awkward thing where she's like, bye, and runs away.
Okay, see you never.
I think as soon as Gorko sees you, because he's very busy, but he finally catches sight of you. I think he's gonna run up and hug you, and then like
He doesn't hate me anymore.
yeah, I don't. I think y'all have been gone long enough that Gorko's a fairly.
He was just real sad.
He was real sad, and what he needed was work, right? Like he needed something to just and be good at. And Marie does not seem to lose patience with him. Like it's clear that he's annoying some of the customers, but instead of being like, "Gorko, stop it," she'll like ruffle his hair or whatever and go calm down the guests and, "Oh, don't mind him," and that kind of thing. So he seems to be in a really good place. He's, he's clean. He looks like he's well fed, and he seems happy.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's anything else you want to add before I move to Relic?
Nope.
Okay.
Trying to be distracted.
Okay. So Relic. You make it upstairs. Marthala's gonna step into another room. Not the room y'all shared the last time you were here. What are you doing? You going into that room?
Yeah, the one with her? No, I can't go in that one. She slammed the door in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like, I'll be going and just prattling on idly in my child voice about how proud I am about how, did you see all the things that I just did? And oh, you should have seen the look on Quentin's face. And it's just so funny. And, okay, I guess we'll just, I'll go in my room, you go, okay, all right, I guess that's what we're doing now.
So you're sort of
And then I'll
narrating out
move-
loud, yeah.
Yeah, just I'll move over to my room then. Oh, all right. By then, I shouldn't be seen in the common room because I'm a kid and everything. So maybe bring me some food or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
she
think.
No,
hurt
it's
me.
sad. He's gonna starve.
would feel bad, except
Well, I think when you check in, this is interesting. I don't think Marie would see you as a kid. I think because she's a bartender, I don't think she sees details very much. So I think she thinks of this group as like a large shape, so like Druge is a Loxodon shape, you're a ranger shape with a dog, you're tall and thin, and there was one of you was about your size, and she just sort of assumes. I think that's kind of
If I recall correctly, I rolled really well for my disguise kit.
yeah, you did.
Okay. All right. Well, let me walk that back a second. So I think when you come in, instead of saying like all of your old rooms are ready, I think she's gonna she'll say all of your old rooms are ready, and then she'll probably like crouch down and be like, "And who's this little guy?"
Oi, hey, I'm just here. They're taking me to my uncle and whatnot. I just need a safe room to stay in where they can't sell me.
And she sort of like looks up at everybody else like, "Oh, he's so cute." And she says, "Of course, little guy." Like I don't think she super believes the selling thing cuz she's got trust with the other group. But I think what
She
she'll
also just doesn't care about you.
I think she'll be like, "Of course, little man. Why don't I put you in a room next to?" And she'll look up like, "Who should I put him in a room next to?"
Quentin's just like shaking his head and turning around.
I avoid eye contact like the plague.
Well, Brandel, looks like you're up. So she's gonna say, "There's a nice little room right next to your friend here," and she'll probably walk you up there, 'cause you're a kid, you know. So does that change like you talking about your exploits and stuff as you get up there?
Yeah, I reckon so. If she's gonna follow me up there, and then I'll be like, right, yeah, I'll get my own room. Okay, all right, yeah, bye.
Sound like you're in Monty Python's Flying.
Neat.
There's lovely filth down here.
Yeah, literally.
All right, so yeah, she'll crouch down again when you're in the doorway and be like, "Do you need anything? There's water and stuff. You know how to take care of everything there. Are you hungry?"
Oh, I'm starving. I love some good food. Yeah, I know how to wash me undercarriage and all that whatnot.
And she says, "Oh, you're a smart little man. Good." And so she'll tell you that she'll send Gorko up with some food.
Yeah, may I
in
ask
a little
a
bit.
quick question?
Yeah.
Is Justice's fake child costume about the same age as Gorko?
Amazing.
Sure, why not?
Or like close-ish? Because I will 100% in that case, if I go downstairs, I'm gonna suggest to Gorko that he go make a new friend.
Awesome. Yeah.
This is everything I want.
Awesome. Yeah. And Marie's also gonna tell him like there's a little boy upstairs and he might be a little lonely. And Gorko's gonna be like, "Okay." Like Gorko's probably like a little bit older than how Relic is disguised, and so it's the kind of thing where Gorko can be like, "Yes, I will take care of little boy," and that kind of thing. So,
Lovely.
you're hanging out in your room. You're doing anything in the room? Are you trying to like? Are you the is your character the kind of character that like tries to stash money or like checks all the corners to see if anybody left anything else, or does he clean his daggers? I don't know. What's he doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, he's gonna lay on the bed, staring up the ceiling with his legs crossed in kind of a jaunty little move of his foot as he recounts his escapades and just how clever he was through that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just reliving all the highlights, really, because when his pants fell down and he zipped out of there and he was so red, oh my goodness, that was such a good moment. Like that goes down in the top 10 relic films.
The fart
in my
noise
headspace.
was particularly genius. That was
was
cherry on
pretty
top.
proud of that. Not gonna lie, it was pretty choice. And all in all, it didn't really, he was scared to come back to this city because he likes to keep it on the move. But then the more he thought about it, the more he realized that, there wasn't really anybody in this town that was looking for him. Like normally when he leaves a town, he's got to do so at the head of a I wouldn't say angry mob, but an angry mob that may or may not want to tar and feather him. And so it was nice coming back into town, even with a bit of a disguise on. And so that's allowed him to kind of forget about the woes and worries of the past just a little bit, because he's like, I can come back to this town because you know what, maybe hanging out with these blokes ain't so bad because I didn't get myself run out of town, and it's kind of nice coming back to a place where I can go to the same inn again. Whereas a year or two ago, if I'd come back to the same inn, regardless if I was in disguise or not, there'd be posters all up over the place. And hey, don't serve this dude because he's probably going to pick your pocket and sell you some relics that ain't so good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe make off with the silverware at the same time. Who knows?
Okay.
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So
That's
it's
quite
kind
the
of a nice
list
feeling
there.
coming back. Yeah, well, yeah, just examples, really.
Right. Just-
Hypotheticals.
Of course. Just a very
Well,
colorful look at your past life.
Yeah, a hypothetical, of course.
Is he
Just like that hypothetical necromancy. You know, I deal in a lot of the gray area.
Oh,
Theoretical
right.
necromancy.
I
That was a
forgot
thing.
about that. Didn't
Theoretical necromancy.
How did that come up? I forget. Did somebody try to convince you of something? Or
And
were
no,
you
I was
trying to
just
convince somebody else? You were trying to
was
convince
just
Harlick.
thinking academically about what would happen if we brought people back from the dead so that they could cast their vote for me in the mayoral
That's what it
election.
was. Oh my goodness. You come up with the most ridiculous things. Yeah. So hypotheticals. You deal a lot in hypotheticals. All right. Do you think at any point he would be contemplating the consequences of his super cool actions?
Why?
I mean, like, is he considering, like, the anger Marthala seems to be holding on to, or the fact that he just shared something with a large group of people that he's never shared with anybody before, and
You
then
know,
tried
the
to get
longer
them
he sits
arrested?
there, maybe. He sees it all as kind of a. It's all a bit of a guess, right? When we're talking about getting them arrested, he didn't really think that they'd get arrested. He was just pulling some legs and having a bit of fun. And you know, he's convinced himself that at this point they've kind of just accepted the fact that Relic's gonna have a good time, and they're along for the ride as well. And you know, he's really just gonna try and not think about those other things that he talked about because that was 2 days ago, and he was a little bit hungover, and you know, surely they're not dwelling on that. We came back here to get some money and whatnot, and maybe they'll just forget all about it, and we can just move on with our married lives.
So denial.
It ain't just a place in Egypt.
It's firmly in your head. Okay. I
Did
think
you just say married life? Is Relic married?
It what?
what?
Huh?
You said we can move on with our married lives.
Married
With our married
life.
lives.
Married
Oh.
lives.
Uh-huh.
We just moved right on with our married lives.
All right. So I think Gorko's probably gonna knock on the door, and I think he's probably gonna be like, "Hi, little buddy. I brought you some food. So this
Hey,
is
what the devil are you doing? Oh, wait, yeah, food. Oh, yes, the food. Yeah, bring it on in here.
Gorko's gonna be like, yeah. So he brings in like a tray, and it's got like, the soup of the day and some bread, and a tankard of water. Definitely water.
Oh. Is it water? Huh. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because kids drink water and whatnot.
And Gorko says, "Did you want some milk? I can bring you some milk, little guy."
Oh, gads no, I ain't drink milk in about a dog's age.
Gorko looks slightly confused.
Oh, yes, no, I'm good on water, thank you.
And Gorko's like, "All right, do you want to play? Marie said I could have some time to play if you want. I've got, God, crap, what do kids play with?"
Play. You don't play with a hoop and a stick or some stuff like that?
And he goes, "Yeah, I've got one of those. You want to come play with that in the backyard?"
Oh, gads no, I'm allergic to the sun.
And Gorko looks really confused and is like, "Okay, well, I'll just be downstairs if you need anything. I've got do you want a ball? I've got a ball you can play with."
No, I really appreciate it. You're such a nice little lad there. No, I'm good. Oh, do you see that? This place is haunted. Oh my goodness.
Oh, roll a fucking
Come on.
deception check. You are rude. Roll a deception check. You're the worst.
Can I gain a little bit of advantage on this deception check by pointing to an area in the corner and casting minor illusion to have like a flowy, shimmery little blue area?
The worst.
Fucking
Yeah.
The worst.
That is a where's deception? 22.
Come on.
Oh God.
Ah, there's a ghost! Oh my god, it's haunted!
I
You
think
sound like you're part of the teen girl squad.
The mighty corn warrior.
this is a perfect example of how we are suspending belief, right? Like you rolled well, so we're gonna say that's a good kid voice, but I think so Gorko's seen some shit, right? Like he's young, but he'd been traveling with his master for a while, and like he was with you down in that rift. So, I think he will like sort of visibly pale and like automatically like reach for a sword that's not there, and then he will jump in front of you so that he's between you and the shape you've made, and pick up the tray and let all the food drop off and like hold it up like a shield.
Look, kid, I'm just kidding. There's no ghost over there. There was a trick of the light. Shit's on you. You're a hero.
And you make the shimmer go away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just goodbye.
He
Goodbye.
he starts to set the he looks embarrassed. He's like, I'm sorry. And he starts to pick up the food and like brush it off and like blow it, you know, and he starts, he has a towel on his belt. He starts to wipe up the soup and he says, I'm sorry. I've been, and he starts to sort of stumble through an explanation of how he was once an adventurer, and it's like a little kid's version of I've seen some shit.
Oh, yeah. That's all right, mate. Look, I was just playing a trick. I didn't mean nothing. Here you go. Go ahead and take this, and I'll pass him a gold coin. And you know what? Don't worry about the soup, mate. There.
He looks at the gold coin and he looks up at you and he goes, "What happened to your voice?"
Just some dust in my throat there.
Oh yeah, I'll bring you some more water, cause everything got spilled on the floor and he's wiping it all up.
Yeah, dear, thank you. Just, pocket that there, a good gold coin and put it on your college fund or some shit.
And he says, "Thank you. I'm going to go to college someday." And he backs out with the tray because everything's kind of ruined. And he says, "Do you want me to just leave the next one outside the door?"
Yeah, no, that'd be great, yeah.
And he says, "Okay, let me know if you need anything, buddy. And if any ghosts, you just yell and I'll come up and help, okay?"
Yeah, no kidding, kid. You got some balls on you.
And he looks super embarrassed and like, like bumps into stuff as he's backing out and closes the door behind him, and you're alone again. So you're not gonna go down into the common room?
No, I think I should probably stay up here. I'm gonna tell myself that it is for, safety purposes. But in reality, I reckon he feels a little bit of shame. And believe it or not, the the way that Gorko reacted to his trick actually made him feel more ashamed than anything else that he's done thus far. Because he didn't get scared and such. It was more like a genuine heroic reaction, and it made Relic stop and think for a little while.
I like that. I like that. That's what made him stop and think. That's okay. Okay, so you don't go downstairs. You do hear a soft knock on the door, and Gorko's left a tray. The mug has juice in it this time.
All right, I got some juice.
And it looks like the soup you got had more ingredients added. It was probably one of those forever soup type things, and so it's got more bits in it that look good. So it looks like he kind of,
bobs.
And he got you a piece of bread with some good crust. So it looks like he's sort of like trying to upgrade your meal a little bit in little ways. All right. So does anybody notice that Relic didn't come downstairs?
I probably
think-
notice, but it is likely that Barthala probably thinks he's reflecting on his action.
Does she think that, or does she hope that?
I mean, a little column A, a little column B.
A thing could be two things.
Yeah, this is more willful ignorance.
Is it going to be the kind of thing where she recognizes when the willful ignorance is happening, and there's like a little, like a pause in your brain, you know?
Yeah, but right now a lot is changing very quickly, so she's not gonna fight it too much. She probably realizes she's protecting herself a little bit.
Okay. Anybody else notice and/or care?
I think Quentin does, just in the fact that he hasn't had to worry about it yet.
You mean like worry about whatever mischief he'll come up with? Has that been
Yeah,
a fear of yours? Like, Relic's gonna come down here and he's gonna fuck with this date and I'm gonna murder him. I'm done. I'm just gonna murder him. Is he thinking that,
Yeah,
or?
I think that's pretty much on track. Like,
Man, I didn't even remember that he was going to be on a date.
too late.
Is it the kind of thing where like you're planning
Or
ways
not.
to like knock him out? Like, I don't have to. I could just stab him a little bit, or like I could conk him on the head, or maybe Druge would hold him down. Is he?
I think he's probably running through like what established like mid-fight communication he has with Druge that he could subtly enact that wouldn't distract the blacksmith too much.
Did we
and,
name her
like, would
yet?
make it too obvious. I just realized I don't think we have.
Good. Yes, I prefer this.
Yeah. That like wouldn't give away too much, and he could be like, could you just?
Could you
Um,
just?
But also keeping in like trying to be considerate that like Drew's had to deal with a lot of shit, and he's had to do a lot of babysitting. So then he moves on to like, okay, well, what can I do on my own? And if I started this, would Marthala jump in?
Wait,
like-
would you also be thinking like maybe I could get Marrow to distract him, but that would take too much time to train him. But I probably should train him to do that because this is never going to end.
Yeah, I think he's kind of running through all these scenarios, and like he's now lost in thought about dealing with that.
Great. So even when Relic's not downstairs, he's still distracting.
Excellent.
I'm sure he will appreciate that. All right. So I think we've checked in with all the characters. Is there anything anybody else wanted to add before I set up the next thing? Okay. We're gonna end at about a half an hour, so I'm pretty much gonna run through a short scene and then we'll do a wrap up and then we'll be done. But if anybody needs to step away from the table for a minute, I'm happy to take a quick break. I'm good, but if anybody else needs to,
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm alright.
great.
Rock and roll.
I've learned. I have stacked drinks around my table now. Okay. I took after the Druge's player. He always has like multiple mugs of stuff.
I have 3 presently.
Only 3?
Yeah, I know. It's an off night. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Are you feeling all right?
I think that might be the source of my emotional distress right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. Yeah. Okay, so I think what I see happening next is Felix needs to show up because Marie said he's going to show up tonight. Y'all need to talk to him and be like, here's the next piece. Give us our money and where's the next one? Is that what the group wants to do, or is the group going to be like, here's the next piece and also fuck you. This is terrible and we want none of it. Has the group discussed that yet?
Don't know
Apparently
that we
not.
have.
I'm more curious about Quentin's date. I don't really care.
Wow. Okay. So is this the kind of thing where Felix is going to show up and y'all are going to be like, hi, Felix, and then keep staring at Quentin?
I mean,
Well,
I
at
think this
least.
is Drew's trying to periscope the drunk around and make sure no one does anything stupid or otherwise rushes out to do stuff, because he's still fairly suspicious Marthala might go off and bonk someone on the head lethally.
So he's trying to keep
Brandel.
2 things in sight, right? Like, nobody mess with Quentin, and also Marthala, make sure she's still sitting next to me, kind of thing.
And also, I mean, Brandel's probably chill.
Yeah.
But make sure Relic doesn't come down and accuse anyone of child trafficking, or
Again.
Again. Yeah, that's a thing we have to say again about. So stream, this is Duke Ampersand. He's my new kitty, and he likes to participate in stream by sticking his tail in my face, so my apologies. Okay, Drew,
I
what
also
were you gonna...
enjoy that Justice's genuine giggle is closer to an actual child voice than Relic's attempted disguise.
Drew, what were you about to say?
No, I think that's the long and short of it is Drew's just being Team Mom again.
I enjoy that you've built this character and it has turned into Teen Mom.
I didn't plan this while this character was being built, but yes.
You really didn't. I'm recalling those original conversations, and that was like probably the furthest from your mind, but here we are.
Super wasn't, but yeah, characters evolve, you guys. It's fine.
So I see the Blacksmith showing up and Felix showing up.
Guess which one is gonna get more of our attention?
I think that's going to be an interesting thing to play through, right? Now it's 8:20. We could do a wrap up now and just end a little early and start there next time. What would y'all like to do?
You're the GM.
I am the
so
GM.
Are you
I am
ready?
Yeah, I can do this. I've been thinking about
to
this.
Do this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine doing the thing.
All right, let's do the thing. Okay, so here's what happens. So the inn is slowly filling up. I think Marthala's probably at the table chattering about anything that is... Okay, listen.
Anything except Relic.
You can't eat my pants. Go play with your sister.
Is that what she says?
I'm very sorry. Percy is... this kitten is trying to... He keeps hunting my butt. And
Well then.
it's very distracting.
Understandably
that
so.
Would be.
Yeah.
I was standing next to the desk and I just feel like, how? And I was like, what is happening? And since then, he's been like leaping out of dark corners at my bottom. So he's being a weirdo. I am sorry, stream. Okay. So Marthala is probably, talking about anything except Relic. I feel like Druge is the strong silent type at this point. Brandel is probably doing that thing. Brandel?
Mm-hmm.
That one. Yes,
Druge
it's probably
is
doing
whatever the equivalent of grits is, yes.
Yep. So that's kind of what's happening at that table. Quentin is absorbed in, okay, if Relic does this, then I can do this, kind of thing. Marie is everywhere. Gorko's actually being useful at this point. She's handing him dishes and plates and stuff and pointing at tables and then pointing at other tables to be cleared, and the place is picking up. It's pretty busy. People are coming in, they're eating, they're drinking, they're leaving, they're coming in on their way home. There's a couple of people staying. There's an older priestess and a younger priestess that's like assisting her. There's somebody that looks like a merchant. He's got like a big like square pack on his back, and he sets it on the table, and Marie tells him not in the common room, and he says no, of course, and he like subtly tries to be subtle about like setting out a couple of wares, and she comes back over and puts her hand on her hip and is like, what did I tell you? That kind of thing. There's a group of younger dwarves that come in and beer, ale, and start to cause a ruckus over by the fire, and she has to go over there a couple times, and one of them pinches her butt and she slaps him and they laugh, and like it's a whole thing. You're in an inn common room at the dinner time. So in the middle of this, I think what's going to happen is every time the door opens, Quentin, are you looking up every time the door opens?
I think jump is the wrong word, but like
Starts.
yeah. Yeah, like immediately looks over, like a little wide-eyed, and then like tries to calm himself and act casual as much as possible.
Okay. Does anybody else look up whenever the door opens? What?
I 100% do.
Would it be all right if Marthala originally sits down not with her back to the door, and then she notices Quentin's reaction every time, and she like scoots around?
That sounds about right.
Does it? Yeah. Okay.
You're looking at him and then at the door.
Huh?
Waiting.
It's like a tennis ball match. So this goes on for long enough that Quentin, you mentioned earlier that you're worried she might not show up. You're worried that you really think she might not have, like, she's standing you up. You think that at this point. Does that sound all right?
Yep.
Okay. As you're, if you really think she stood you up, would you go back and join your friends?
I think I would like wait maybe 15 minutes longer than I think standing up is appropriate, and then I would kind of start. Like by that point, he's like probably like noodling with the bread or whatever, and like enough of them are turned into like little pieces and not actually eaten.
What does noodling with the bread mean?
I don't know, you know, like
that
just
sounds
kind of fiddling with it.
Fiddling with the bread, okay.
Yeah.
That sounded very strange. Okay. So there's a pile of breadcrumbs in front of you.
And yeah, he'd start considering like making his way over to the table.
I want you to be like in that in-between state where you've started to stand up but you haven't finished the action yet. When she walks in.
And then it's just kind of stretch and look around at the candles and then sit back down.
It's all like gasps, really loud. Not subtle at all.
Is this a you even go here moment?
A what?
It's a you even go here, not a you don't even go here.
Do not understand this reference.
Like, she's here.
I'm moving on because I don't understand this reference. Okay. So she steps in. When you've seen her before, she's been dressed very professionally as a blacksmith, you know. Leathers, smock, you know, with burn marks on it, you know, her hair like tied up and probably like soot on her face and her, you know, she looked like she was working. When she walks in, she's wearing she's wearing a pair of pants that are looser than pants, not loose. They're flowier than pants. So when she walks in, it's clear they're pants, but when she holds still, it kind of looks like a long skirt.
Yeah.
And then the shirt she has on is sleeveless. No, sorry. There's a shirt that has like a short sort of like puffy sleeves, and then there's a vest over it. And the vest is longer, like it like comes down to maybe mid-thigh. And
she like very clearly put some intentional thought into what she's wearing.
Right. Well, and her hair is up, but it's like in a twist with like a silver sticky thing with a white stone on the top. And her pants are blue and her vest is like a darker blue and her shirt is white. And she stands there, she strides in and she looks around and she tugs her vest, you know, straight, and Marie bustles up and you can see Marie talking to her, and you can see the blacksmith pulls out a notebook and shows Marie something, and Marie looks at it and she's like, "Oh yeah," and she points at you, Quentin.
Just like deer in the headlights. And then like kind of like choke on the piece of bread he was kind of half eating, and then stand up and brushes himself off.
So she's gonna smile, and she's gonna walk right over to you, and she gets up to the table and she does that thing where it's like she almost hugs you, but then like sticks out her hand like to shake your hand.
And then like completely whatever the opposite motion of what she's done is probably what Quentin's done.
she's gonna like definitely like firmly be like handshake.
Yep, and by the time by that point they've synced up, and he's like, yes, handshake.
And she'll sort of do that awkward thing where it's like, well, I'm gonna sit, and so she sits before you can like pull out the chair or anything. There's that awkward moment where it's like, are you gonna? No, cool. So she sits, and she looks around, and she sort of smiles at you like, yeah, you can tell she's like, this is nice. Yeah. What do you do?
I'm just thinking of this now, but I think in Quentin's pack, he probably would have like a really nice set of writing equipment.
Okay.
And he'll pull out like a nice pen and some, it's not spellbook parchment or anything, but it's not like ratty, butcher block paper or anything like that. So, and he'll pull that out and kind of set it on the table and kind of like gesture. And we've established she can hear, right? She just doesn't speak.
You have not established this.
Got it. So he'll kind of look at her and say, well, if it's a nice dinner, I figured we could have some nice conversation, and the conversation could be on nice paper too. And kind of like awkwardly smile, like, is this okay?
I think she's gonna look at you like she's looking at you as you're saying this, and she near the end of it she starts to smile as you're like, we could write on nice paper, and she just sort of grins at you and she nods like, okay. She pulls out her notebook and I'm sorry. Let me let Percy out.
I hear him crying.
He's just yelling. Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry, folks. Hi. Yes. Hi.
He's picked up the yelling cadences and sentences from the oldest cat, who just yowls when he wants something. Except for it sounds like that. It's this itty bitty kitty.
Marthala is like excitedly elbowing Druge every time anything happens. Like, she's so psyched right now for Quentin.
What did I miss?
And Druge is looking as disinterested as possible, but there's also like one of the ears that's lifted in that general direction.
Yeah, you've probably got pretty good hearing, right?
Yeah. Large elephant ears, trunk occasionally pointing in that direction there. There is interested disinterest happening.
You're so nonchalant.
And did I miss a Marthala reaction or a Brandel reaction?
Marthala is just very excited every time anything happens.
Mm-hmm.
So she keeps
I'm
like
just-
elbowing Druge and like pointing.
Is it
I'm
like,
just
oh,
looking
he
at Marthala, looking at them.
like, oh, he pulled out paper. Did you see he pulled out paper? That kind of thing.
Yes.
They're like, yes, he's 10 feet away. And to be clear, like, Quentin makes it clear that like the nice pen and parchment is like he could use it too if she wanted to, if that's the way the conversation goes. But he brought that for her so she could write on some nice paper and a nice pen.
Marthala, are you trying to be subtle about watching them, or are you like popcorn? Just
Like trying to not be subtle, but also Marthala is just not subtle to
No,
begin with.
she's not.
It's just not in her.
Is
no,
this middle school smooth?
Yeah.
I specifically want to know if Marthala is trying to be subtle. I think we all agree that it's not going to work, but
I mean, yeah, in the same way that she subtly was like, boy, I sure wish he'd ask me out.
perfect.
Like,
Yeah, that kind of tone. Okay. I think the blacksmith is going to go to reach. So she pulls out her notebook and she starts to flip through a paper, and she sort of looks over at the table with Druge and Brandel and Marthala, and like sees what's happening over there, and like she looks back at you and smiles, and then she closes her notebook and puts it in her pocket, and she goes to reach for the pen and the paper that you brought out, and sort of like looks at you like, do you mind?
Oh yeah, and then he'll kind of like nod vigorously, and then kind of like looking over at the table, start turning like he's pretty pale and like blue toned, but his cheeks will start turning like a like that winter rosy pink.
That's right, you're not green
Cheeks get-
anymore.
No.
And the first time she met you, you were green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she's gonna write. She has a very neat hand. It's nothing flowery or anything. And she writes, "Thank you very much for thinking of the paper. This will make it much easier. It's probably very loud in here." She says, "I can read your lips, but this will be nice, don't you think?" And she turns the paper around to look at you, so that you can see it.
he'll pull out like a much less nice pad of paper, and like just a standard writing utensil. So like. they
So
don't
you
have
brought
to
the
trade
fancy
back and
paper
forth.
for her.
Yeah, like very clearly put that out for her, and like it's decent, but it's not anything like what I passed to her. And he'll
Yeah.
write back to her like, yeah, and this way those nerds can't read our lips.
She actually laughs and she says, she writes, "Your friends seem very concerned. It's nice that you have friends like that."
Yeah, you feel like a tool.
And he'll kind of chuckle and like look down and be like and reply and say, yeah, it's new. The big guy and I have been traveling together for quite a while, but the rest are no longer strangers.
So are you talking or writing? Because
Writing. I'll be writing.
you're writing. Okay. So I think we can agree that you're both writing at this point. So I'll stop that part of it. But I think she's gonna say, she's gonna write. She's gonna write. The last time I saw you, she'll write. The last time I saw you, your cheeks, and then she'll ... and like look up at you.
And he'll get brighter.
Were not blue. You were green. What happened?
And he'll kind of like relay the story of like, you know, we run to the city and we were cursed, and you know, if you see a green cleric wandering around town, although his may have faded already, there was a trap, and kind of relay that story.
And she reads through that, and she's actually I think at one point because that's a fairly long story. I think what she'll do is move her chair to your side of the table.
I was just gonna say Quentin was like part of this might be a ploy so that he can sit next to her instead of across the table.
Yeah, so she can see what you're writing as you're writing, and on her piece of paper she'll write reactions like, "Oh no, oh that sounds tough. You turned green! Exclamation point! You know, like how long ago was that?" Like she's like running commentary so she can read it while you're writing, and she writes fairly quickly. So I think that's gonna be what you do is you go back and forth like that. Any special topics you want to bring up?
No, I think just in general, like however the conversation goes, he'll write the stories of what they've been doing lately, you know, any particular moments that anything she's made for the group at large have come in handy. He'll tell her about the battering ram and the wall, you know, that led us in there, and
I think
along the ways he might make little doodles of like little chibi elephant
people on
smashing
fire
the wall.
and stabbing.
Yeah, people exactly like
things.
little chibi versions of the events that have happened.
Like a bug being swatted and like, oh no. Yeah. I think she's gonna try and drive the conversation where like if it lulls at all, she's gonna keep asking questions so that it's fairly lively. Marie's gonna stop by and she's gonna wink at you and not be subtle, and when you order dinner and stuff.
All they haven't now.
No. I think at some point
I'll ask about her.
I think at some point the blacksmith makes a comment about like, and now your cheeks are red. And yeah, she'll probably tease you a little bit about that entire thing because it is worthy of teasing. While this is happening, Felix is gonna enter. Marie's gonna catch him at the door, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah," and she'll point at she'll go to point at Quentin and then swing her arm around to point at Druge and Brandel and Marthala. She'll be like, "Yep, they're right there," and he'll be like, "Oh, okay, my usual," and he'll walk over to the table and be like, "You're back."
Shh, we're busy.
And he
I'm gonna just wave my hand, but not say anything.
And he's like, "What?" And he looks at what you're looking at. And he sees, this is probably when the blacksmith moves the chair over to sit side by side with you, and he's like looking at it like, "What are we looking at? What are we? Wait, is you what?" And he like looks back at the rest at Brandel and Druge, and Marthala is like, "Seriously?"
Haven't you seen True Love before?
Whoa.
He rolls his eyes so hard and he says, "Did you find another piece or not?"
I'm not answering him. You guys do that.
Yeah,
You're busy.
I think this will kind of default to Druge, since
You know the face.
Brandon slash Relic slash whatever we're calling the child war trafficking is otherwise unavailable, and Quentin is also otherwise unavailable for entirely different and more interesting reasons. Druge will kind of drop the ear that was pointed over towards Quentin and his date. Not that you can actually hear anything as people scratch along paper, but you know, it's interesting. And remind me, was that piece originally with Harlech, or what did we end up? Where did that piece end up?
I think Geth had it originally, and then Harlech had it. So I think you need to
nobody else touch it.
Yeah, nobody else touch it at this point. I think.
Yeah. So retroactively, where did this thing end up?
I think retroactively, like everybody's acting irresponsible enough that you're like, all right, fine, give me that, and it's part of what you kind of have.
Great.
Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
Cha.
Relic is probably gonna try and claim it himself, and Druge is like, no, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't want a piece of that thing.
Okay, fair enough.
Is there an equivalent of like a napkin or a handkerchief or whatever on the table?
Sure, yeah, or probably cloth
Great.
napkins.
Druge will, with the trunk, pull it out of satchel, saddlebag, whatever carrying utensil he happens to have on him at the time, and this is a fairly small-ish piece, right? It's not like you need a team in a box to carry this thing.
No. The biggest piece you have is the like casing that you found down below Walled, and it's about the size of a bread box. So this is something that would fit inside of it.
Great. So yeah, Druge will reach in with the fantasy napkin and wrapping it up in that, pull it out with the trunk and hold it up towards Felix. After kind of taking a quick scan around the room and making sure that no one is super interested in what's going on, and hopefully everyone is more interested in what Quentin is doing or not doing, as his charisma might indicate.
I actually think at this point, like, half the bar is watching Quentin.
Because, like, they know the blacksmith. They might not know me, but...
Well, you guys are writing back and forth to each other. That's unusual. And there's 3 people avidly watching, not watching you. And so I think other people are like, what's happening over... Oh, what is happening? And so, like, there's, like, people being like, what are they doing? And so there's just, like, whispers and stuff.
Perfect. So as long as that's happening, Druge will reach in with the napkin, wrap up the piece of the otherwise magical object, and hold it out towards Felix. And I think this is what you were looking for.
He'll set it on the table and kind of open it up and look at it, and he'll say, yep, that looks like the piece I sent you after. And he says, you have the other piece safe, right?
Assuming that we do.
You do, yeah.
Okay, great.
And he says, now, it makes it easier to find further pieces if you keep these pieces. Do you feel like you can handle protecting these pieces while you go after the next one?
Druge will kind of look around the table for what's left of the party at the moment. Yeah, I think we can handle that. Are we still interested?
Not even paying attention.
I
was really hoping you were going to answer as if she is asking about Quentin and inadvertently sign us up for...
Are we interested? Yes, we're interested. Look what's happening over there. Love!
Yeah, exactly.
But I think I think I heard Brandel say yes.
So yes, given that that's a quorum at the moment.
Yeah, that's all you got.
Druge will look back over and Yeah, we can handle that.
And he says, all right, there's a lot of ears around right now. I'd like to give you your instructions for the next piece tomorrow morning. It'll be a bit quieter. So can I meet you here for breakfast? And he, like, gestures at Quentin and the blacksmith and is like, and maybe that will be over by then. Because I need everybody's
Boy,
attention.
I hope not.
Goals.
I think he rolls his eye. He's rolled his eyes like 2 or 3 times at this point. I think at this point he's gonna like rub his neck like he actually might have pulled something. And he sighs.
Whatever the equivalent of a face palm with a trunk is, that is what Scrooge is doing.
Marthala is very confused, like she's looking around and not sure what she said that was so wrong.
And he says, "Listen, I'll be back tomorrow morning. If y'all are still interested, meet me then. I need a beer. I'm too old for this nonsense." And Maria's bringing him a beer as he says this, and he just takes it from her and says, "Thanks, lass." And he walks over to the fire and like kicks some of the younger dwarves out of the way so he can sit in his chair and drink his beer. And he like stares moodily into the flames.
Mood dwarf.
Yeah, that went as well as could be expected.
All right. Oh, before he leaves, he says, "I'll make sure that the funds are deposited in your accounts at whatever I named the bank."
Money
Great.
and stuff.
He says those things. Okay, so at this point, Felix is off drinking by the fire. Quentin and the blacksmith are hanging out. I think y'all eat dinner. Is this the kind of date that you want to grab dessert? Like, how do you want to end this?
Oh no.
God.
No.
no.
Why are you making that face?
Put a sock on the door, mate.
I am waggling
did offer
my
him the room.
eyebrows.
I will. I'll kind of follow her lead as to where it goes because I don't think he's been on a date.
Ever?
Oh, baby Quentin.
I think based on what's happened, we haven't gotten into yet. I don't think he has. I don't think he's had the opportunity or
that's
time. So he's just kind of like.
I don't think he has either. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I
As much as we were like giving, as much as we were giving Brandel crap earlier for not knowing what to do when you go unpack a room because he didn't have stuff, the equivalent thing is happening here with Quentin and a date. He's just like,
Yeah.
I've seen people do this.
I think that's
Is
why
this a thing?
she ends up leading
Yeah.
the conversation because I think occasionally there are pauses and she'll like look at you like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh god, I have to ask a question. I have to ask a question right now, and she's like, okay,
What does
and
that
then
face
she
mean? I don't understand.
then she'll ask another question or bring up another thing, you
Yeah.
know, and roll a
Oh god.
perception check. Because is this the character that has stupid high perception?
No.
Great. Roll a
I mean, it's
perception
high,
check.
but it's
No, you have a character that
passive is
has
19.
stupid. Oh, that's stupid high too.
It's also stupid high.
Roll a perception check.
pass-
You are not
okay.
going to be passively perception in the middle of a bar with a pretty lady next to you.
Oh, super true.
Arguably, he should have disadvantage.
You do have disadvantage. Roll a disadvantage.
I mean, it can.
Nice.
It can
Got
get
him.
worse. It did get worse. Neat. That's an 11.
Could have been worse.
It could be worse.
Say that, but he gets pantsed again in the middle of his date.
You
Yeah, I've been
Blood.
messaging Shauna separately. Just
Perfect. I was wondering what was happening
Oh,
there.
keep the fucking worst.
you think it's going well? Like you're
Okay.
pretty sure this is going well, but you're not positive.
If this is an insight sort of situation, it's going to be 3 points lower than that.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's not terrible because she has not left yet, and that's definitely a sign that it's terrible.
There's been no hitting or screaming.
Right, so you're out of
Like,
that.
low bar, guys.
You don't know what really good looks like, but you think the fact that she's on your side of the table and your arms are touching and she's laughing and she doesn't seem to giggle, but like
Completely oblivious.
but he's not sure. Like, maybe she's faking it to be nice. Like, there's no reason she would do that, but, like, that is a rational thought in your head, or a reasonable thought in your head.
Check
So-
my pockets afterward.
So that you finish dinner, she'll finish, she probably had a glass of wine, and she'll set it down, and she'll lean back in her chair, and she'll look at you, and she's got like a small smile on her face, and then she picks up the pen and she says, well, I had a really nice time tonight.
And yeah, me too. This was yeah.
Vice grip on
Yeah.
on my Tank Bros trunk if it looks like they're saying goodbye.
Wait, you're what?
I have like a white knuckle vice grip
Oh,
Like
on
yes.
Yeah.
on
Yes,
Drew's
like a- like-
trunk.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the equivalent of the trunk wrapping around the white knuckle grip.
She's gonna do like that little fidget thing people do, like when they're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go. And
He's
so
gonna like he's gonna kiss me goodnight, sort of.
not quite yet, like you're in the middle of a
Okay.
bar, but she'll kind of stand up, and she'll tap her finger on the table like she's trying to decide something, and then she'll sigh.
And he'll stand up.
And when you stand up, she'll sort of like smile, like oh, okay, and then she'll reach over to the paper, and she'll say, would you like to walk me home? And then she'll write yes, no, circle one.
yes or no.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Let's go. Do it.
He'll reach over and like go to like put an X through yes, and then realize that like X could be misconstrued, and then he'll like frantically circle like, oh crap, and then like circle a bunch to like try and counteract that he started to put an X through it.
She'll laugh as you're doing this, and she wrote that on a single piece of paper, so it wasn't like at the end of it. And she'll fold that and she'll put it in her pocket, and then she'll start to walk away, and then she'll turn around and she will what?
I said insight check. I'm kidding.
She'll start to walk away, and then she'll turn around and she will hold out her hand, like back over her shoulder, like are you coming, kind of thing.
And if you thought he was blushing before, he'll take her hand and very poignantly not look at anyone.
As soon as you take her hand, a bunch of random strangers go, ooh, as you start to leave.
And my
She's leading it. And then he'll look at her immediately for like, this is the moment to figure out if she can actually hear what's happening or not. See if she heard that.
She is also bright red, and she's like looking straight forward, so it's hard to tell. And she will lead you out of the inn. Is anyone going to follow them?
Absolutely fucking not.
What an interesting question. What an interesting question.
Split the party. Succubus.
Marthala probably like gets up to go do it, and I want to think that Druge probably stops her because he realizes
Oh, yeah.
she's gonna ruin the date.
No, if she's still white knuckling the trunk, like she'll stand up and the trunk will just pull her back down.
I'm imagining like, not that Marthala is immature as a child, but like when a little girl sees an ice cream truck and tries to run after it, and the parents is like, no.
Very much what's happening right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is that moment.
Okay, then I will discuss with Quentin offline what happens next, and we will find out. We will find out next time what happens.
Or will you?
Now, Stream. I tend to not do sexy stuff on Stream. This is a little bit into a different sort of realm of like, this was cute and we had consent and that. So I want to encourage Stream to have those safety tools, and do not flirt with your players without a pre-agreement that it's okay to flirt and tease like this. So I wanted to call that out. So this is where we're going to end it for the evening. I think before we end, could I get Marthala, Drew's, and Brandel's reactions to the fact that Quentin just walked out with the blacksmith? What's going on there? I know Marthala
I'm
got...
staring at Marthala because I want to see what her reaction is.
It's just as entertaining.
You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
probably like some squealing that occurs that just like she's not trying to do it, but she just kind of like goes while they're leaving because she's just so excited.
Is it the like inadvertently painful like arm shake, shoulder slap, sort of?
Maybe I'm not like that's not a super universal feeling, is it? That doesn't sound familiar to me.
You've never been so excited you're like slamming your hands on somebody next to you, being like, oh my god, it's happening!
Shake them. Yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah, probably. Sorry, Druge.
Now,
I'm pretty sure I've seen Diana do that, so I'm just describing it.
I've definitely done it to Luth, and I feel
know
very bad
that,
about it.
yeah.
Is it the kind of thing where would Marthala be like, did you see when they did this? And Drew's just like, uh-huh. And she's like, did you see is that the kind of thing? Or does she just sort of lean back and is like, I think that went well. Like, what are we looking at there?
Much the first, but like if she sees that Druge is not as excited as she is, she'll probably feel really stupid and sort of just like cross her arms across her chest and be excited internally, but very sheepish externally.
Well, Druge, are you kind of like, yep, I saw it, or are you like, actually, I did. Did you see this other? Like, how are you engaging with Marthala?
it is, it's kind of a quiet excitement that's like halfway between like, go get him, kid, and like, yeah, he did the thing. So it's engaging Marthala at like, if Marthala's at 11, Druge is at like a 6.57.
Okay,
So I think
I accept.
I think you would.
Druge is nothing if not particularly accurate.
Well, how about this, Marthala? I do think you know Druge quite well at this point. Do you think you would pick up on that? His excitement's always going to be a little bit quieter than yours. Do you think he'd pick up on that? And sorry, do you think Marla? Oh my God. Do you think Marthala would pick up on that and keep doing the? And did you also see this because she recognizes? Yeah, he is also excited.
Maybe for a little while, but like she's
Yes,
also not gonna push that too.
I don't think Marthala would like do it for like an hour. I think it would be like just a couple minutes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yeah, there's a limit to that, but yeah, there's a hot beat or two where it's like, yeah, he's growing up.
And the coop.
Okay. I think that's where we'll leave it for the evening. Does that sound all right to everybody?
Wait, I still want to
Yeah.
hear. I want to hear how Brandel reacts to everyone else's excitement because I feel
Yes.
like he's just. I want Brandel to get excited because we're excited, not at all because of the date.
I mean, it is exciting, you know. So
Well,
It's just like-
do you think Brandel's more excited about the way that Marthala and Druge are reacting than about what Quentin's doing?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. It's just exciting to see Marthala reacting. you
Yeah,
know?
like that is the most entertaining thing too, is
To be
watching
so
Marthala get so
about it.
excited.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Just Marthala being like super.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a note to check in with Quentin. And at no point did Relic try to sneak down the stairs and watch any of this.
That is my question. Where the fuck was Relic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
no.
happening in the DMs to the DM?
Yeah, no.
Because Druge's passive perception is trash. Actually, it's not too terrible, but it's not great.
And Relic is sneaky.
no. Is Relic sneaky? Relic's not too sneaky.
Stop that.
No. He's been doing some introspection at home. In the room, you know, he doesn't want to go out and show his face. Believe it or not, he is a little frightened of being back in a town that he's been to before. You know, he's not a young man, and so he's spent his whole life kind of running from town to town. So to be back in the same town after his initial bravado, there's a little bit of trepidation about leaving said
New
room.
territory.
Got it. So even the lure of Quentin being awkward on a date would not have you peek downstairs at all.
No, probably not. After
Okay.
you know,
I
he's
think
not a
that's-
complete
That's it.
heartless asshole. You know, he recognizes that he may or may not have set things in motion earlier by painting him in a blacksmith shop, and but you know, he let him have his moment.
Well, I think this actually says. I think this is an interesting moment for Relic to make that choice. I think, yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, stream. What I like to do with my games is ask the players to what they learned this evening. I think that gives a nice way to tie up the session. And then what I ask for is for them to share with me what they thought were good role playing moments. I also collect role playing moments from chat. So if you have a moment this evening where you were like, man, that was a really good piece of role playing, it doesn't necessarily need to be happy or funny, but the goal is that it's a really good role playing moment. Go ahead and chuck that in a chat while we are doing the learns, and then the players will vote on which one they think is the best, and that person will get a role playing point, which means they can re-roll a d20 roll next session whenever they want. Once. Okay, so what'd you all learn this evening?
Well, I learned that that Quentin can write. Which okay, it sounds like a weird thing.
Uh-huh.
No, but
No,
like
we haven't done it
fantasy
yet,
literacy.
But it's not, right? Because not everybody had that kind of education in this kind of society.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's fair.
So she learned that, and she learned that Felix just doesn't believe in true love.
Yep.
Marthala was watching her stories. This is not time for business.
Yeah, seriously, come on, I'm busy.
The soaps are on you guys.
My stories.
Yeah.
I now have a new category of game. You know how people are like, oh, it was a shopping episode. Because of this game in particular, I now have the ability to say, oh, it was a feelings episode.
Oh, I thought it was going to be, it was a dating sim episode. Okay.
No, there were feelings here. And other things you learned.
Stuff can actually get to Relic. I don't know that the characters learned that, but the players did. I think we're starting to see a turn.
No, mate. I'm a rock.
Nuh-uh.
No, you can't make me.
Nuh-uh. Okay, other stuff you learned.
I wonder if old Marthala there is not a hopeless romantic.
Oh, I thought we were just assuming that at this point.
I don't know that she's hopeless though. I think she's definitely romantic.
Wait, so Relic, are you saying you're wondering if you're realizing that Marthala is a hopeless romantic, or that she isn't?
No. Relic is not around, so he doesn't see that she is or is not. But that's just as the player wondering, like, idly realizing that old Marthala is a
Old.
old, not old, old Marthala.
No D,
Old Marthala,
not E.
you know.
OL apostrophe.
Yeah. Old
That
Marthala
That's the one.
with a slash and hack here and a slash and hack there.
Here a wing,
Here a
there a
slash,
wing,
there a-
everywhere a
What did
wing.
What did you do with Marrow on this date? Was he like curled up under the chair?
Yeah, and he would have pattered out after us.
Okay, so you've got Marrow with you. Good. What else did you learn this evening?
I think the Gorko is settling in. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of just like, hey, you're here now, we're out, bye. And
Deuces, bro.
Have fun with your new life.
No, I think you did
Like-
that deliberately. Like, we can't take him with us. This is the best place for him. Like, blah blah blah.
Oh, we
I thought
did,
it was
but
deliberate.
there's a difference between like dropping him off and be like, "Hey, this is your new life. Hope you like it," and coming back and be like, "Oh, he's settling in. Good
That's-
for him."
that's
So
fair.
long, and thanks for all the fish.
Different book, different universe. Okay. Okay. Anything else you learned, or you want to move on to the role-playing moments? All right.
I mean, we didn't learn that Quentin has no game, but we were reaffirmed that Quentin
It was
has
confirmed.
not
I know for
zero
sure
game,
now.
but negative game.
Are you sure? Because she did ask him to go with her.
He has endearing lack of game. That is
Yeah,
not
He
the
knows
same
it's
thing.
not him.
It's definitely the he's cute because he has no idea what he's doing
Fair enough.
scenario.
Okay.
Aw, how cute.
Anything else you learned? Are you good for RP points?
I think we're good.
Okay, we've got 2 RP point nominations from chat. The first one is Relic Clouding on Gorko. Tyler said, it made me sad, but it was very good Relic RP.
You should be ashamed of yourself, but congratulations.
But congratulations. And
Congratulations, you're a bad person.
and then
That's not new.
True. This tracks.
and then Rosie liked Relic being disguised as a child. She said, I loved the moments when Relic was disguised as a child. Okay, other good. Those are really good. Thank you, Tyler and Rosie.
Look, I really know how to get into my role.
Oh my god, I hate it. Justice, I hate it so much.
I almost spewed ale all over my-
this one instead.
No!
All right, other good RP moments. What do y'all got?
Just Marthala in general, white knuckling
Yeah.
the throat, and just being here for it.
Yeah.
Like,
The sideline
Trying
cheerleader.
to find love and be happy.
I'd like to nominate the DM, even though you know what, I move for if the DM wins for DM to get inspiration to use at some point, but for Gorko's
yeah.
response to the ghost, because it wasn't what
That was
Justice
really
Player was
good.
expecting,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
so I had to audible there.
That sounds pretty.
I will co-sign that nomination.
Same.
That was
I
it was a pretty genuine Justice reaction where I was like, oh shit, this kid's been he didn't run scared. I was trying to get him out of my fucking room, but no, he's like, I'll go to the mats with you for this ghost.
Well, I
Like,
had to think
Remember
about
how he
it, right?
Basically watched his dad die.
Yeah, like I had to think about like what did this kid go through? How could he react? I really thought about it, y'all. I'll put it in parentheses for tracking purposes, but and thank you. I appreciate. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That was a
You
good
can
moment.
use inspiration on an NPC to kill one of us.
See, I don't want to do that. Like
Try to.
the GM has like full power over everything, you know. So
Yeah.
but I appreciate the
Unlimited
nod there.
power.
Space. Okay, other good role playing moments.
Phenomenal cosmic. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do literally hand wave stuff. I made magic spoons. Like, I do what I want. Is you know.
I would like to nominate Brandel for having yet another perfect Brandel reaction where he's just like, okay, how are the rest of you reacting right now? Cool, that's what I'm gonna do.
Is this what
too.
we're doing?
Like, Brandel has always been the most chill, but I don't think I have ever seen a character who is so much like, oh yeah, guys, we're just gonna go with the flow, and being a beach furball who's just like, yeah, guys, hang loose, it's great.
I told you
Guys,
guys,
yeah.
he's the dude.
I do
He's
want
a Sir Furbog.
I do want to explore that more. I'm ignoring it. I do want to explore that more, Brad. I think that would be fun. Okay.
Oh god, what if his patron is literally the dude?
No.
I don't think he's got the dude vibes really. Like, he is chill, but I don't think it quite goes to that length.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, other good role playing moments.
I mean, Quentin for putting up with, like, leaning into the awkward.
Yep. That was good. All right. Yeah, you got any more? Or y'all ready to vote?
Y'all ready to vote?
All right. Everybody vote. Everybody.
Everybody do the vote.
We got. Well, y'all are goofy
So
tonight.
can we vote for you or no? Is that
I mean, I'm not gonna do anything with it, so I think it would make more sense for y'all to vote for one of you, so that one of you can have a chance to re-roll. You know, I think I
I have 2 RP points stacked up. I feel like you earned this one.
I I appreciate that. Yeah, okay, that's.
This is happening now. This is your life.
That's-
Just accept
That's an
it.
If we
interesting
only
opinion, Spin,
vote
but I'm
for the
still going to
DM.
vote for you.
You can't give it to anybody else.
That's what would happen, I suppose. All right, well,
right.
Gorko's response to the ghost won the RP point.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I think. Did this group decide that it was okay to give an RP point to another player in the moment if they felt like if? Did we decide that was all right, or was that a different group?
Can now.
Wait,
I don't know. We've talked about
I
it.
don't
Would
believe we
y'all-
discussed it previously.
Would y'all like to do that? Like, if because you've asked once or twice, and I've said no, but would you like to change our rules a little bit where, like Druge owns the RP point, but if he's like, oh, Quentin is failing miserably, I'd like to give him the RP point. We can like story out like how you might inspire him somehow, and he'd be able to re-roll. Do you want to do that, or do you want to keep your RP point for yourself?
No, that sounds good because we
I really like
oftentimes
as we story it
don't
out, yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
We forget about our RP points.
I also think about it this way too, is you the group is worked together for a while now, and so I like the story idea of like it makes sense now for you to be able to give your. So I'll probably just randomly bestow an RP point next time, since this is my RP point to give.
Oh, I see how you're cheating.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Did we not see this coming? This is absolutely the DM.
Yeah, that was actually okay. You know what?
Yeah.
Did you?
Very good strategy there.
Mhm.
All right.
You get a
Yeah.
second untradeable RP point for being conniving.
Yes. Okay. I'll just put that in my pocket. I'll have a gold star. It'll be great. All right. So that's where our session's gonna end. Before we say bye, does anybody have anything they'd like to share that they're doing over the next week where people can find you? Are there any streams you're participating in, or any games you're playing that you'd like people to come check out?
Funny you should ask.
Want me to talk about it, or you want to do it?
You go ahead. You do the thing.
So on Friday over on Bard and Barbarian, our channel, this week is our first installment of a 4-part, I can't speak English anymore, guys, of our 4-part Vampire the Masquerade series entitled Ash and Ruin. My players for that game are Kelly the Opera Geek, Justice, B-Dave Walters, Cynthia Marie, and Michelle C. Light. So I'm
Such
very
a
excited to
good
start
group. Yeah, that's
And
gonna
you
be
said
really neat.
your players because who's DMing?
that. I am.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a really good game.
I'm excited to see how it turns out. We have lots of, well, not lots. We have 3 new launches this week for Bard and Barbarian. And then Tuesday and Thursday mornings, if you haven't been joining us for our new morning show entitled But What If, you absolutely should.
That is
Justice
fun.
and I talk about lots of cool games and survival situations. Today we talked about bear attacks. Like, it's just a good time.
And Redwall. Yeah, we had I was in chat this morning. I really enjoyed that show. It's fun.
Good, I'm glad.
Good way to start the day.
It was. I was making breakfast. I was yelling at the dogs. It was perfect.
I was in the other room taking a shower and was listening to it through the door.
Okay. Any other streams or any other games anyone would like to share that they might be participating in? Okay.
I get it all.
I have started streaming a new game called Gris. So I'll be doing that occasionally. We're not going to do Broken Bane this Saturday. I think our next one is going to be next Saturday. And I have a special guest this Sunday for Brunches and Dragons. I will be having a human who goes by Blind Temple on Twitter. They're very cool. They have a Ask Me Anything, specifically ask a blind guy anything days. They run games. I really enjoy Blind Temple. They have a lot of really good content, and I've learned a lot from them. So that should be really fun. I hope everybody joins us for that. And I think that's all I've got.
When is that?
That's on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah, should be good. And Brunches and Dragons is my version of a storytelling experiment where I don't prep anything. I just
make it all up. I like find a story with just one player. So, and I make up a random magic item specifically to try and infuriate Tech Soup. So it's a really good way to start my week. Okay, so I think that's everything. Anything anyone wants to add, or are we good?
Next episode, can I punch a priest?
Yes, so I really appreciate y'all joining in on the let's get back into the rhythm of things. I am going to pick up the story next time. I do have some questions for a couple of you behind the scenes, so I'll be reaching out using Discord. But yeah, I think next time we'll see a little bit more action. I think we're all ready for that.
I didn't mean that as like a criticism.
No.
I just really want to punch a priest.
No,
Diana.
Yeah, I didn't see it as a criticism. I saw it as a player being like, I want to do a thing, and we will do the thing. Yes.
Because no, this date episode was exactly what I wanted. It was what I needed.
We needed to get through this. I knew if I was like, we're gonna skip over that, I would hear howls of rage from states over.
I'm not entirely sure how old Relic here is gonna react when he finds out that they lied to him and the priest is actually here. So that's a.
Right, there was some vague dishonesty there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Look, it could just be a coincidence. Also, Relic doesn't get to get mad at anyone for lying ever.
Save it for the rules.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We will see. Yes. Okay. Well, I think that about covers it. So how about we all say good night to stream, and we'll see y'all next time. Sound good?
Good night to stream.
Bye bye stream. Bye stream.